We have an expression, best not to keep all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So, okay, everybody's money's digital and it's all in, digital accounts, etc. What's going to happen when the lights go out? It's all a bit too simple to control.
Why do you think cash is so important?
Because the moment we go digital, it's over for us. There is literally no escape. It will quite literally be the end of humanity as we know it.
When it goes completely cashless, the currency will be programmable. So when you go and you go to Tesco's or wherever you go and you want some meat, it'll say, sorry, you've had your meat allowance for this week, but here's some coupons for some tasty bug burgers.
This is Lewis Brackpool for Rebel News, and today I'm outside the Bank of England, right in the heart of central London, where protesters have gathered today for the Worldwide Freedom Rally. Now, I want to go around and ask protesters today, why is it so significant to be here, and what are their reasons to come here today? Now, these freedom protests sparked in Britain back in 2020, where everyone was still in lockdown because they were protesting about the draconian measures the government implemented upon its people. And there are still hundreds and hundreds of people here today who are banging the drum still 2 years later. So we've been informed that the protesters are going to be listening to some speeches from speakers that have come here to talk about freedom today, and then march and make their way to Russell Square, which is a couple of miles just down the road. So you can see behind me, protesters are going to make their way to Russell Square. They've just wrapped up a few speeches where they said some very interesting points. So we're going to follow them and ask them, why is it so significant to be here on this march today? So why are you here today for this march?
Because freedom is important. We've been lied to, and I've probably been awake since it first started.
2020, I think, was that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a little story. I was in Florida with my friend when suddenly the news broke that people were leaving Wuhan because of the virus. And my first response was, why are they allowing people to leave? Why didn't they quarantine them in China? And I smelt a rat from the outset. That said, I'm of a certain age where I can't wake up a lot of my friends, although I've had a little bit of success. So I think it's important to just keep going and raising awareness so that people really understand what is going on and use cash.
Yes. Why is cash so important? Because that topic seems to be one of the main ones today at the march.
Well, cashless, or when it goes completely cashless, the currency will be programmable. So when you go and you go to Tesco's or wherever you go and you want some meat, it'll say, sorry, you've had your meat allowance for this week, but here's some coupons for some tasty bug burgers. And it's going to be the same, but worse, if you want to go on your holidays, they'll say, sorry, but you've had your holiday allowance this year, you've used up your carbon footprint, and so you'll have to holiday near a home or at home, you can't go again this year.
Does it worry you that we're heading towards a cashless society?
Absolutely, and the reason I'm out on everything is for my daughter and maybe potential future grandchildren. Because we're older and we've had a life and we've had a free life, and we want the next generations to continue in that same vein and to be able to have freedom and know what it is.
Part of the protest is all to do with cash. So I wanted to ask, why do you think cash is so important?
Cash is important because it gives us integrity and freedom. If everything's turned digital, they can basically control what goes in and what goes out. What transactions that we have has to go via a third party. We have an expression, best not to keep all your eggs in one basket. So, okay, everybody's money's digital and it's all in, digital accounts, etc. What's going to happen when the lights go out? It's all a bit too simple to control. Far too simple.
So do you think that that's the aim?
No, it's a pathway to social credit control. Universal basic income, what a lot of people don't realise is that in a few years from now, there's going to be millions of people unemployed. And we're going to be living like, I don't know, livestock that are, kept in a herd. Because there's no employment, we've got no source of income, but we'll be living on state handouts. And that money, your handout will be policed according to your behaviour. It might even be policed according to your geography. Like, what are you doing in this sector?
Same as China.
Exactly, yeah. Everything has been a tiptoe to totalitarianism. The whole vaccine passports, which seems to have come and gone, it hasn't come and gone. They're trying it out. They're doing different parts of the project in different parts of the world.
What you just said was bang on the money, no pun intended.
Okay.
You're one of the main men for Resistance GB, an independent news organisation.
Yep.
How are you doing? Are you well?
I am fantastic, and it's fantastic to see people out here today. This is the sort of stuff we try and cover.
Yeah.
We try and cover people fighting back against tyranny, because the mainstream media, what they do, they put out fear, they put out lies. And I really think what we need is a strong independent media. Some of the stuff that you've been doing, some of the stuff with Citizen SID, another alternative, Subject Access, people are out there, UNN, UK Column, and they're going out and they're telling the truth and they're showing the fight back. This is what we need to be showing, people fighting back and telling the truth, and ordinary voices as well. How often do normal people actually get to speak and speak their mind without it being chopped up and changed to promote a narrative?
Rebel News, yeah. Did you want to say a few bits?
New World Order, the Great Reset. It's no good, is it?
Why do you think cash is so important?
Because the moment we go digital, it's over for us. There is literally no escape. It will quite literally be the end of humanity as we know it. We cannot go digital. Then they will control everything. That's what they want. Like, cash is our last route to freedom. Cash is kind of useless these days. I'm trying to get gold and get people onto that, because if people start investing in gold, that would offer us an alternative. But there's even loads of stuff behind that, with China and Russia stockpiling loads of gold, trying to make their own currency. So there's a lot going on.
So today isn't about one specific topic, it's an umbrella of various others.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be here today then?
Okay, for me, for 2 years I was fighting against the whole COVID agenda, but now my primary focus is the Great Reset. So the fourth industrial revolution, where you will own nothing and be happy. Even on the UK government website, it states that the fourth industrial revolution is merging the lines between the biological, digital and artificial realms. They talk about gene editing, and this is on the UK government website. It's not conspiracy as people think. So that's why I'm here, to try and stop the Great Reset, because I feel like that is the end of humanity. At that point, we won't be able to rise, because everything will be automated, controlled and censored. It already is, but at that point, there'll be no chance, So we have to do it now. We have a small window of opportunity.
I have trust in humanity. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but there's so many good people that will realise, wait, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Their strategy makes sense, and then all of a sudden it starts making sense. Initially, take the vaccine, let's wait for the vaccine. Everything made sense. But when the vaccine came, people had already took 2 jabs, and they were telling them, take more. At some point, it's not going to make sense. So the climate change thing that's coming in now, at first it's making sense, but soon they'll start telling you, oh yeah, you can't drive, you can't do this. It's like, wait, well, hold on a minute. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, you have a lot of optimism there, so it's actually very refreshing to hear that. So
because we literally saw in real time what happened with COVID. People literally like, yo, this is not right, and everyone starts standing up. And as soon as they start seeing, yo, the numbers are tripling every time there's a protest. Let's pull the plug. So they know, in the UK especially, we've got a vibrant community of protesters.
So we just passed Tower of London, where we're now on Tower Bridge, where protesters are continuing to march across. I believe that the end destination has changed, but we're going to continue to follow and find out why they're here. It's not necessarily about one specific topic, is it? It's an umbrella of terms.
Absolutely, yeah.
So for you today, being here, what do you think is the main topic for you today on this protest?
Well, there's a multitude of things, but the cashless society, the importance of raising awareness, of withdrawing cash every day, paying your bills, paying for your groceries, wherever you are, in a bar, restaurant, paying cash, draw it out and paying cash. The post office have taken record amounts of deposits and withdrawals in the last 3 months, which is an indicator that there's a level of awareness rising. Now, we do a lot of outreach down on the south coast where I live, and the cash thing has really captured the attention of businesses and the public, the residents of the town, and more businesses are putting the cash posters in their windows locally, which is another good indicator that there's an awareness going on. We've got the energy price hike, the corporate extortion of that. Oh, it's only going to be raised 200%. Come on, people, 200%? So how are people going to pay that? This winter's going to be very interesting, but there's this group of people on the other side of the road that are going to come over to this side of the road because of the awareness, because they're going to be put in such a squeeze. 200% is a lot of money to burden people with, and their costs, their outgoing costs. It's unaffordable. So that's not going to work, and we have to fight back in non-compliance and say, no, it's not happening. Trudeau is a major globalist puppet, a World Economic Forum, embedded in the World Economic Forum, and driving Canada into the ground. It's a dictatorship. It's no longer a democracy in Canada. We're seeing it in Holland with Rutte. What's going on in Holland with the Dutch farmers, and you guys have really covered it so well this summer, which has raised greater awareness into the public domain. Because the public, a lot of them, they're like, what are they protesting about? What is the Dutch farmers? It's about globalism. It's about the Great Reset, or the not so Great Reset. You can shove it and jog on. Klaus Schwab, these people are sociopaths who have no power. They believe that they have this power over everybody because they...
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Freedom! 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 Power to the people!
So protesters are making their way over Blackfriars Bridge in central London. As you can see, these movements have started way back in 2020, where the government imposed draconian measures upon its people, not just in the UK, but around the world. That is why it's a worldwide freedom rally. But what's interesting is that the word freedom encompasses an umbrella. It's an umbrella term for various other different topics. So that's why there's no specific topic that people are coming out in their droves today. So this has been Lewis Brackpool reporting in central London for Rebel News. If you enjoy my honest boots on the ground journalism, you can now help support me over at ukreporters.co.uk, where you can keep up to date with all of my previous reports there. That's ukreporters.co.uk.